police service officer, an IPS officer named Arian Rothor. His unwavering honesty didn't just challenge a corrupt system, it kind of forced him into this dramatic, high-stakes undercover mission.
Right.
And that revealed a network of unseen powers far more insidious than anyone imagined. This isn't just a tale of one man's bravery, it's a deep look at what it truly takes to fight deep-seated corruption, even when the enemy is, deeply embedded within.
Yeah.
You're going to uncover some surprising truths about personal courage and how systemic rot really operates.
And that's precisely what's so compelling about this deep dive. This narrative doesn't just tell a story. It brilliantly unpacks the intricate, almost hidden layers of corruption. We're not just looking at individual bad actors here.
No.
We're examining the vast, interconnected web that supports them. This lets us see the profound personal cost of upholding the law when the very system designed to enforce it seems, well, intent on breaking you. This story will reveal not just the dramatic events, but crucially, the mechanisms that make certain battles against corruption incredibly complex, demanding far more than just traditional policing.
So let's start with our central figure, IPS officer Arian Rothor. He's fresh out of training, just assigned to the Central Police Station, a notoriously sensitive area.
Right, sets the stage.
But Arian isn't just any new recruit. His reputation for honesty precedes him. And for him, the law isn't just a guideline, it's practically his religion. From day one, he made his intentions crystal clear.
No messing around.
None. He walked into that station, laid down the law to his officers, including veterans like Inspector Mera, told them, choose your path now, choose integrity, or face the consequences later. He wasn't subtle. And then, he immediately started reopening old suppressed files, and get this, one of those files involved the nephew of a powerful local politician, an MLA, or member of the Legislative Assembly, Ranvijay Thakur.
That uncompromising stance from day one is so significant. It immediately highlights that fundamental conflict, doesn't it, between individual integrity and an entrenched corrupt system.
Absolutely.
Arian's initial warning wasn't just a statement, it was basically throwing down a gauntlet. It's an almost textbook example of what you might call an antibody response from a corrupt system.
Yeah.
It perfectly sets the stage for the kind of officer he is, someone who refuses to bend, and it foreshadows the monumental battles he's about to face against a system that has, for years, benefited from complicity and silence.
And that battle, well, it didn't take long to ignite. Imagine this. Late at night, city streets are quiet, Arian's out on patrol, spots an unauthorized convoy, 3 black-windowed cars, speeding.
Okay.
He stops them. Out steps none other than MLA Ranvijay Thakur himself. He immediately tries to pull rank, shouting, "Tame se baat karo, main vidhayakun." Talk politely, I am an MLA.
Classic power play.
Totally. But Arian, calm, completely unfazed, just fires back, "Our main IPS hun, sir. Kanuna par bhi lagu hota hai. And I'm an IPS officer, sir. The law applies to you too."
Wow. Direct.
No fear, no bowing down. On the spot, he seizes the cars and files an FIR, a First Information Report. That's the official start of a police investigation.
That initial defiant act is incredibly telling about the existing power structures, right? This wasn't just a routine traffic stop.
Not at all.
It was a direct challenge to a politician who clearly felt he operated above the law. It's a classic demonstration of what happens when abuse of power becomes the norm. What does this tell us about the bravery required to confront such figures head-on, knowing the immense repercussions that are almost guaranteed?
And those repercussions were swift, brutal even. The very next day, the news headlines screamed, IPS Arian Rothor suspended.
Just like that.
Just like that. The entire police department fell silent. A deafening quiet that suggested everyone knew this was coming, that challenging Ranvijay Thakur had only one outcome.
The system protecting itself.
Exactly. At home, his family was terrified, neighbors whispering, "Galat aadmi se benga le liya." He picked a fight with the wrong person. That night, Arian was left in a dark place, questioning himself. Was I wrong? It's a truly chilling moment for him. What's your perspective on that kind of internal struggle when you're up against an entire, seemingly unbeatable system?
That self-doubt is not just common. It's precisely what corrupt systems actively aim to instill. They isolate you, make you question your own judgment, send a clear message message: conformity is safer. However, what's crucial here is that instead of breaking him, this moment of profound isolation actually becomes a catalyst for a deeper, more strategic fight.
Interesting.
Yeah, it forces him to reevaluate how he can fight rather than if he should.
And that reevaluation led to a turning point. A call came from Raghuvir Chauhan, a senior officer from the STF, the Special Task Force.
Okay, a lifeline or something else.
Well, the challenge was stark. If you truly want to fight the system, you must abandon your name, uniform, and identity. Go completely undercover, anonymously, dive deep into the grime.
Wow. That's a huge ask.
Huge. Arian's response. Powerful. To the point, I don't need a name, I need a mission. And just like that, Arian Rathore, the principled IPS officer, became Amar, a smart bouncer, ex-military man. A new, incredibly dangerous chapter.
This transition from overt policing to undercover work, it fundamentally changes the nature of the fight, doesn't it? And it tells us a lot about the depth of the problem.
How so?
It implies that simply applying the law from a position of authority won't work, because the system itself is compromised. This strategic shift means you can't just arrest your way out of this. You have to infiltrate, dismantle it from the inside.
Much harder.
Much harder, much more complex, and far more dangerous. It's a clear signal that the corruption is systemic, not just, a few bad apples.
So Omar's first target was this guy, Kalusef, a local mafia figure. He served as a crucial bridge between politicians and criminals.
The middleman.
Exactly. Using his sharp mind, his military background, Amar quickly infiltrated Kalu's gang, skillfully gaining their trust. He observed everything: drug dealings, election funding, the whole dirty business.
Just soaking it all in.
But then came a critical discovery, something that blew the lid off his initial understanding. He learned that Ranbajay Thakur, the MLA who got him suspended, just a small pawn.
So not the kingpin.
Not even close. The real mastermind was pulling the strings from behind the scenes. An unseen hand with influence stretching across politics, the police, the media, even parts of the STF itself.
Wow, that's deep.
This was way bigger than he had ever imagined.
To zoom out a bit, this revelation immediately broadens the scope of Amar's mission. It goes from targeting individual criminals to an entire systemic network.
Right.
It highlights the insidious nature of corruption when it's not merely about rogue elements, but a deeply embedded infrastructure, almost an iron triangle, you could say, that manipulates every lever of power.
Yeah.
This isn't just about catching criminals anymore. It's about exposing a pervasive, almost invisible organization that warps the state for its own gain.
It was during this deep dive that Amar found a glimmer of hope, an unexpected ally in Faisal, an old gang member who was disillusioned with the system.
Okay, an insider turning.
Yeah. Faisal provided a crucial lead, a high-level meeting. Big politicians, officers, mafia figures, all set to meet at a secret farmhouse.
High stakes.
Very. Amar immediately reported this to his STF handler, Raghuvir Chauhan. But something shifted. A flicker of suspicion crossed Chauhan's eyes, as if he doubted Amar's loyalty.
Oh, that's not good.
Not good at all. The situation quickly escalated. An STF team started monitoring Amar. Then one night, returning with documents from a meeting, Amar was attacked, guns fired, car overturned.
Ambush.
He barely escaped, but the message was chillingly clear. The game was two-sided. He now faced enemies not just outside, but within his own ranks.
Within the STF itself.
Exactly. It wasn't pain he felt, but this cold, hard anger. He knew his next move had to be perfectly calculated. That realization that the enemy is within completely shifts the landscape, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
What's the psychological toll of operating in that kind of environment?
That internal betrayal is absolutely pivotal. It forces Amar to shed any institutional loyalty and embrace a truly rogue path, because the very system he's trying to uphold is compromised.
He's totally alone.
Totally. Psychologically, it's incredibly isolating. You lose your anchors, your identity, your uniform, and now your trust in your own command. It means operating in a constant state of hypervigilance. Every interaction is a risk. Your own life depends entirely on your ability to outthink not just the criminals, but also those who should be your allies. It pushes individuals to their absolute limits.
Knowing the enemy was everywhere, Amar made a critical decision. He distanced himself from STF command. He was going rogue. It was Faisal who then delivered the bombshell, Ranbajay's arrest, just a media distraction. The real power power player. The invisible ruler who made every decision from Delhi to Daman was a man named Banu Pratap Badi. A name not on any official list, not in any record, yet he controlled everything.
This invisible ruler concept, it takes us beyond mere corruption into the far more dangerous realm of state capture.
Explain that a bit.
It's where criminal elements aren't just bribing officials. They've fundamentally restructured the institutions themselves, making them serve a criminal agenda. Banu Pratap isn't just a powerful criminal. He's effectively a shadow governor, operating outside the official framework but dictating its terms. It signifies a profound breakdown where the lines between governance and organized crime are not just blurred, they're actively erased.
So, Amar took on a new disguise, morphed into a bouncer at Rajan Lopez's club. This club was known to be closest to Banu Pratap, a place where black money was laundered, high-stakes deals were struck.
Right into the lion's den.
Pretty much. One night, Rajan Lota accidentally let slip details of something called the Mera Project, a massive plan. Thousands of crores of foreign funding into India meant to be distributed among corrupt politicians and officers.
Huge-scale corruption.
Massive. Amar, ever the strategist, indirectly sent the meeting details to the STF, using a different identity to avoid exposing himself. How precarious is Amar's position here? He's walking this tightrope between being an insider trusted by the criminals and a suspected traitor by his own people, all while trying to expose this huge financial scam.
His position is incredibly precarious, almost impossibly so. His survival and the mission's success hinge entirely on maintaining this incredibly dangerous balancing act. He's essentially a double agent,
Yeah.
but without the safety net of knowing who on his own side he can truly trust. The brilliance of his strategy, though, lies in creating enough plausible deniability to stay alive, while still feeding critical information to a system he knows is partially compromised.
Right.
It's a masterclass in strategic infiltration and risk management.
That indirect tip led to a partial success. Rajan was caught in the raid, but Banu Pratap, the invisible ruler, slipped away.
Of course, the big fish gets away.
Always seems to happen. The media, of course, went wild, spreading news that an STF agent was colluding with Banu Pratap.
Painting Amar as the traitor.
Exactly. Amar remained silent, playing the long game, because he had a secret weapon, a hidden folder. Thousands of Banu Pratap's transactions, call records, and, most damning of all, footage of a top STF officer literally kneeling before Banu.
Whoa, undeniable proof.
His ace in the hole, the kind of proof that changes everything.
Absolutely.
Armed with this, Amar developed an audacious plan. Almost suicidal, really. He would confront Banu Pratap directly at his next high-stakes meeting.
Confront him. How? Where?
The location. A private airbase, hidden deep in a jungle, heavily guarded signal blockers, hundreds of gunmen, the whole 9 yards.
Sounds impenetrable.
His strategy was equally daring. Send encrypted data to a few trusted STF officers, then plan a live broadcast timed perfectly during Banu Pratap's victory speech.
A live broadcast from there, with signal blockers.
Apparently he had a plan for that too.
What really stands out in this situation is the sheer audacity, the calculated risk involved. Amar, without his uniform, without his official name, is stepping out of the shadows to directly challenge a man who controls an entire criminal empire.